Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the April 2024 edition of Kolache and Coffee at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We are thrilled today because it's not only another day in our year-long celebration of our 50th anniversary here at the museum, but Dave's in black and I'm in black and gold because Iowa is making history tonight as we watch the great women's basketball team tonight on TV at 8 o'clock in the evening. So we're making history here again.
Very good.
Iowa's making history, which we're so pleased because our museum and library is making history too. And Dave Molina, who is our head librarian and has been a master here for many years, is going to talk to us about something very, very, very exciting that is going to happen here on May the 3rd at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library. Dave, what are we going to do?
Well, we're very pleased that we have signed an agreement with the Sisters of St. Cyril and Methodius, which is a Roman Catholic religious order that has been the caretakers of a rather large collection of Slovak language materials. We are now going to be the stewards of those materials according to that agreement. So we're actually, our colleague Dalibor Kolache and I went out to Danville, Pennsylvania, which is where the order is based, and we retrieved the periodicals part of that collection. And that filled completely filled the back of a 16-foot Penske rental truck. We probably had it overloaded, but we got it back here to Iowa safe and sound, and now we're making preparations for bringing it in and into our library. We have to do a lot of moving around of materials that are currently in our closed stacks area to accommodate this. So we're in the process of building shelving upstairs. We're going to create a remote storage area for materials that are currently in our closed stacks area that are either duplicates or items that are uncatalogued. And then once we move those, we'll move in these new materials that we're acquiring, and that will form a significant Slovak language portion of our library collection.
Well, first of all, congratulations, and thanks to the Sisters of St. Cyril and Methodius in Danville, Pennsylvania, for recognizing our National Czech and Slovak Library and Museum, and for making sure that we have this collection. And this is very, very, very significant.
Right.
Because, tell us why it's so significant.
Yeah, well, so the sisters maintained this library collection, and they started it at the time when, this was during the interwar period, and when, and then also, the time when also when the communists were in control of Czechoslovakia. So there was a lot of concern that these materials would be not available to Slovaks, and so they were safe. They were kept safe here in America, and then also it was a resource for Slovak Americans to use here in the States, so they didn't have to go back abroad to use those materials. So it was really a research center that they established, and it's acted as such for several decades now.
And what a nice addition to the mission of our National Czech and Slovak Library Museum, because this clearly is related to immigration. It's related to the search for freedom and democracy that the Slovaks and Czechs had, which is Czechoslovakia. And it'll be a real resource for us and students and scholars to come here and to use our library as a place of research and scholarship.
That's the intention.
So on May 3rd, what are we doing on May 3rd?
Yeah, so we're acknowledging this acquisition. We'll have representatives from the sisters at our economic summit, as well as our gala, which will be the next day. And so we're using this opportunity when there's a lot of people that's going to be in for these events to take the opportunity to acknowledge this acquisition. And so there will be a formal kind of unveiling or open house featuring the periodicals that we've acquired so far.
So the library is called the Jankola Library, and I think we're going to open up the Ferdek collection.
Correct. Yeah, so Ferdek is named after Father Ferdek, who was a Slovak immigrant priest who served here in America for several decades. He was very instrumental in establishing a couple of major Slovak fraternal organizations, and then a leader of another Slovak organization, and this was all in addition to being a priest, regular duties. And then ironically, he was the priest of a Czech Catholic parish in Cleveland. So he was able to not only work with the Slovak community, but also the Czech American community as well.
What a wonderful story. And I really like the idea, too, that this collection will be in the only National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library in North America. And it'll be a real centerpiece for us to balance that. We as Czechs probably moved to the Midwest more, and the Slovaks tended to be more on the East Coast and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Ohio, and some came to Chicago. But this will really balance us now as a true Czech and Slovak museum and library. And so it really, I think, catapults us up to that level.
It does. And so it adds parity to our library collections then. And hopefully that will encourage other Slovak-related contributions to our collections as well. And so I'm really pleased with this development here. As somebody, I do most of the collection development efforts here at in the library, and I get people, coming to me regularly, via email, phone, in person, asking if, we want to acquire some of these materials that they have in their families or in their organizations. So, so that's a major part of my role here is collection development, and this is probably going to be, the largest or one of the largest acquisitions we've made. And it complements also a collection that we acquired from Benedictine University back in 2000. And Benedictine University was the only university, actually it was a college at the time, it was St. Procopius College, and it was the only Czech Catholic or Czech college that was established by the immigrants here in America. So, so we acquired that collection in 2000, and that formed a major part of our core Czech language collection. So now we have, a complement to that. So I think that's a wonderful, opportunity for us. And it says something about our role in preserving Czech American and Slovak American history and culture.
I think that's so important, David. And what I really like about that is, when you talk about St. Procopius, because growing up in Tabor, South Dakota, we would always get our priests from there because they spoke Czech. So we would always have priests that would come from St. Procopius in Lisle, Illinois. And then, of course, as I became older, they didn't have any more Czech-speaking priests.
Right.
So it was important that that collection be preserved because they, at one time, were all Czech-speaking priests. And so I think that's, and you highlight, I think, earlier on, the importance of families, individuals preserving key materials that could be of value. So say that somebody has something and they're uncertain, should I, throw it away, give it to you? They should call you, right?
Definitely. So the first part, if you have materials in your home or your family, you might have trying to downsize, you might have a family member who is downsizing or has passed on. I call my job here a fight against the dumpster. So we don't want these things to end up in the garbage and the trash. So please reach out to us first, even if you have any questions about it. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. So we've been collecting material for a long time. So at this point, it's more of a mature collection, but we're always adding material to it. We're trying to fill in gaps or enhance it in other ways. We are trying to avoid duplication too. And so reaching out to us, we're is a place to start, because not only are we a resource, but we can refer people to other libraries, museums in the U.S. that collect similar materials if they're duplicates to us. So I try to help people be good stewards of these things. So I just had a conversation this morning with somebody who reached out and telling her that very thing. And then we do have a list of other libraries that collect these sort of things. So we want to work with the public about these materials that they have in their homes. If there's not a home for it here, we'll try to find a home for it somewhere else. So I think that's playing a significant role here in us as being a resource nationally and internationally.
Well, I always think of your early on when I met you, you called us the national epicenter. And we are the national museum, but we certainly don't want museums like the one in Tabor or the one in Wilbur or the one in Kansas or the one in Texas to go away.
Right.
And so we as a national museum, well, if we get something and somebody says, well, you'll refer. And that's our role. That's an important role.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so, working in my position here, I've learned all these different organizations that are active. And then just to my right here is our, it's our periodicals. And these are periodicals that are issued by these various, Slovak American and Czech American organizations. So that's how I become familiar with them. And so, in fact, I just got an email the other day from somebody at Sokol USA, informing me that one of the persons I had worked with from collection development purposes had passed away. Mm-hmm. So I just sent him an email this morning and just thanking me and then for letting me know about this, but also trying to kind of continue that relationship mm-hmm. with them. So I think that's important that we as an organization here maintain, an active, role in communicating with all these other organizations, so we're stronger that way.
That's great. I love to hear that. My favorite story is Davis speaking is several years ago I had a friend here from Washington, D.C. They were Czechs, and they were looking for Madeleine Albright's dissertation. Remember that?
Yes.
And they said they looked in Washington, they looked in Denver, could not find it. We had it. No. So that was she said, oh my gosh, you have it. So she was taking pictures, and then there was another case of a musician,
mm-hmm.
Caitlin Boschka. She was looking for a piece of music, and I was waiting for her to take her to our house to stay, and she wasn't coming. She was in the stacks and holding a piece of music, and she said, I've been waiting to find this all my life, and I found it here. So, you're mm-hmm. really doing. But then we also have some good news about a Czech collection that we are getting.
So last fall, Dalibor and I again went on an acquisitions trip to Washington, D.C. area, where we acquired the personal library of Dr. Miloslav Reksigl, who has, a very accomplished fellow. He was a political emigre who came to America in the early 1950s and has spent his time here. His spare time, documenting the Czech American and Slovak American experience. He's one co-founder of the SBU, the Czechoslovak Society of Arts and Sciences, was president, and is extremely prolific. He's published dozens of books, and so Dr. Reksigl is downsizing, and so we then went out and acquired his personal library. So Dalibor and I, we filled the back of a truck up with his materials and brought it back here to Cedar Rapids for safekeeping.
And we're building, we hope, a Reksigl reading room as part of our library, so that'll allow people to, I happen to know him very, very well and served with him for several years on the SVU, mm-hmm. Czechoslovak Society, and I think that he's written over 50 books.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He writes many of the books we have for sale in our bookstore. Mm-hmm. One is on famous American, Czech, and Slovak women. Another one is
among others.
One is on checkmates, and he finds some pretty interesting connections of who's Czech.
Yes,
I think
that's I think a favorite of his.
Yeah, he loves to find if you have a connection of who's Czech, he loves to have that little connection in there. So we're really happy that we have that. And I think with this, so what are your plans then for the Jankola Library? Kind of reverting back to the Slovak side.
Yeah.
What are your plans?
So we're going to be acquiring, it's a rather large collection. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be acquiring this in phases. Probably later summer, Dalibor are going to go back again to Danville to pick up the library collection. These are book collection, and which is nicely organized and everything. And so we'll be boxing that up, loading that up, and then trucking it back here. And then the third phase of this is going to be a lot of material that was deposited at the sisters' facility in Danville from the former Jankola printery.
Right.
I'm sorry, the Jednota printery. And so this, is a lot of material that hasn't seen the light of day for probably several decades. So this is going to be an interesting acquisition too. I'm expecting to find lots of gems in there, and so we'll be acquiring that as well. So that'll be later in the fall.
Okay.
And it looks like we have some guests
Oh,
here.
we do. My goodness, we have some, talking about Slovakia, we have some guests. Come on, Peter, so the cameras can see you. We do. We have 3 guests here from Slovakia, and we're very honored. Peter Barta is our head of the Bratislava Castle. Bratislava, that wonderful castle museum that's there, is his responsibility. And he was a key person in bringing us Treasures of Slovakia. How many of you remember that Treasures of Slovakia exhibit that we had? He was a key figure in working with our Stephanie to do that. So welcome, and he's here to do some more work with us. And he's here from Bratislava, and to his right is Professor Martina Orozhova. And Martina is from Comenius University, and we hope to be able to develop some good new relationships with Comenius. I had him in medicine, but now we're going to do him in the museum and history world. So Martina, we look forward, and she's done a lot of work in sort of Jewish history and Jewish culture in Slovakia. So we'll look forward to welcoming her back here as well. And there is Juraj Kubica, and Juraj used to work for one of the ministries in Slovakia. Now he's with the European Commission in Brussels, but he's a good Slovak, so we still we love him for that.
We are very grateful we can see here your museum and your library. This place is beautiful, but we are most of all grateful to Ms. Rokusek, to Cecilia, for having us for the last more than 3 days, and for many years cooperating with us. So please, Cecilia, this is for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Flowers are so beautiful, and such a beautiful tribute to Slovakia as well. So anything to say, Peter, to our audience?
No, I lost my voice today.
But
I am a little...
Okay, but your eye said it all.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Martina, chceš nějaký slova? Můžeš hovořit slovensky a Juraj to bude překládat.
We spent an amazing time in Cedar Rapids and in Iowa too. And I thanks a lot for this visit and for appreciate to stay in your house.
Oh, anytime.
But most of all, we see really plenty of opportunities for further cooperation. We see so many options, like bringing students here, bringing our relatives here, or not relatives like family, but people from Bratislava and from Slovakia to cooperate with Czech and Slovak Museum and Library.
And we're very grateful because both the Czechs and Slovaks, but the Slovaks, with the National Museum, we've had a very good relationship since day one. And when I was told that we have to do things here balanced Czech and Slovak, the museum there was great to work with. So we're very, very grateful. And this trip here now is just going to add more things to our cooperation, and hopefully more students. And we look forward to that. We'll see you soon again, maybe in the fall.
In September.
Yay!
September,
Good, 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 good.
And small surprise for you, it's we're preparing together
Yes,
exhibition about Milan Rastislav Štefánik next time.
Yeah, so they're going to do it there and give it to us to have on display here, so we're very, very excited about that. And I think that'll be a great addition to have, here. And and Stephanie met with them this morning, our curator, and we want to share more things also with you in terms of, yes, there is Štefánik. He's got, there's the exhibit that we're going to have a major exhibit on Štefánik coming up next year that they're going to do in Slovakia and send to us. So we're very pleased with that. We love working with you, and thank you for joining our broadcast. We're very happy. So Martina, see you. You're right, always a pleasure. Keep that European Commission going strong in Brussels. and Peter, ďakujem pekne.
A ja ďakujem veľmi pekne.
So thank you.
I will send you a lot of books in your library.
All right, very good.
Okay. She's a writer and a historian. Your background is history, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a good fit.
Definitely.
So let's give a hand to our Slovak. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So this ends our April issue of Coffee and Kolache. And Dave, if people want to call you, they can call you or email you.
Definitely. Easy one is library@ncsml.org. You can find us on our website. If you have any, call us on the phone, email, whatever. We're here. So
And-
give us a call.
And I just want to
Email.
reiterate what you said about next month in May is huge here. Although we've been doing things all along for our 50th anniversary, we're really going to have May 2nd in the evening at 5:30, which is Thursday. We're going to open, Ambassador Martin Paulusz will be here, and we're going to open the Havel exhibit. Václav Havel, there's an exhibit that was in Washington, D.C. and New York. It's coming here, and that will be opened on Thursday, May 2nd, open to the public, even a reception on May 2nd. On Friday, May 3rd, is a big day. We're going to start the day out with an economic summit that you can register online for. We've got speakers, and at 1, that starts in the morning at 9. Then at 1 o'clock on Friday, May 3rd, 1 o'clock, we are going to have a groundbreaking ceremony for our Prague-style Orloy. So I know a lot of you read that in the paper, but we're going to have actually groundbreaking on Friday at 1 o'clock on May 3rd, okay? And for those of you in the listening audience that don't know about it, we are building a Prague-style Orloy. We will be the only one in the United States to have a Prague-style Orloy, and our figurines will be of immigrants to Iowa. So, and to America, really, too. So, mark that. Then on Friday at 5:30 is...
That's when we'll be dedicating our collection that we received from the sisters. It's the Stefan Furdak collection of periodicals.
So that's at 5:30, again another reception. And then at 7 o'clock, we have the opera open to the public with opera star Esther Pablu and Ahmed Nahidar, who will be her accompanist, and he was here before, everyone loved him. So that's at 7 o'clock on Friday, May the 3rd. Then on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock on May 4th, we are going to have the opening of the Alphonse Mucha exhibit. And this is a wonderful exhibit, a private collection that's never been shown here before. The 3 most popular exhibits we've had here have been Mucha, Chihuly, and Madeleine Albright's pins. So we're getting another Mucha, but it'll be a different one.
Right.
And so that's going to be on Saturday, May 4th at 10 o'clock in the morning, plus a reception. So we're celebrating big. And then at night is our gala, starts at 5:30. You can go online if you need to purchase a ticket. And then Sunday we'll rest. So with that, are there any questions from our audience? Okay, well, thank you all, and have a great month, and we'll see everybody in May. You like May 1st. May 1st is like a celebration. May 1st used to be the old communist celebration, right? But we're going to celebrate later.
Made in Czechoslovakia.
In Czechoslovakia, he bought a sign here in Cedar Rapids that had May 1st. So that's great. Well, thank you for gracing our stage, and Dave, as always, thank you
Very
very much.
good.
Thank you. So bye-bye. Do widzenia. Thank you very much. You'll see yourself on TV.